Welcome to the channel, everybody. You might have noticed I haven't uploaded in a while. You might have also noticed that Ethan's Basement hasn't uploaded in a while. If you know about my channel, you probably know about Ethan's Basement. They're one of the biggest, creators in that space. The H3 Clips channels or H3, highlights channels, whatever you want to call it, fan channels. Maybe like Dan the Hater or Olivia is H3 bigger. I actually don't know off of rip, but I do believe they are the biggest, if not top three biggest Ethan Klein clip channels that exist. They just released yesterday a video called Why I Can't Support Ethan Klein Anymore. And I thought that video really summed up a lot of great points and condensed it into a solid 18 minutes here, where they really laid it all out. I'm in a similar position myself with not being able to support Ethan anymore. I have my own reasons. A lot of them are shared. But I really, after watching this video, I felt like I could not put it any better into a succinct, edited video with a script. But I am just going to watch and react here. I've got permission from Ethan's Basement. And, I think they summed it up pretty much perfectly. There are a few things I'm going to add, talk about my personal experiences. But, for the most part, that's the gist here. We're gonna review this video. I will point out before we get started here, the video is called Why I Can't Support Ethan Klein Anymore. Why I can't support Ethan Klein anymore. Like the trusses of a bridge just gave out. And that's how it feels. Like the weight above us is just too much to support. We got to get out of Dodge. Ethan is, I don't even know what to describe it. If he's having a breakdown, if he needs help. It does seem like he might need some help at this time. I'm not sure if he's off of his meds. I don't know why Hila pushes him to get off of his meds. But hopefully everything is okay. Obviously everything is not okay with his mental health. Hopefully everything is able to be solved with Ethan's mental health. But this was a very cathartic video, and it was it was beneficial to my mental health, this video. So hopefully maybe Ethan can see it as well, and it can help him. But hopefully it'll help you. And if you're in the same position that I and Ethan's Basement are in, just like he said, we don't want you to feel alone. There's like 20,000 of us at least that have left recently that feel the same way. That's just based on Social Blade numbers, and the H3 podcast has been hemorrhaging viewers and subs for a long time. So it could be less, it could be a little bit more. There could be still a bunch of hate watchers that went from H3 fans to now hate watchers watching. It's hard to say. But you're not alone either way. And I guess from there, let's just let's dig into it.
Well, once again, my friends, emergency.
Hey, it's been a while since I saw my face.
This was a perfect song
took a little break
for them to use.
So a lot of people are saying some things about me that aren't quite true. Doesn't matter if it's true though.
Just as long as it's entertaining to you.
Twitch has an anti-Semitism problem. Post Hassan Hiker. Challenge him.
And I'm ashamed I ever did. I don't even want to necessarily. It's troubling, but there was a time where Ethan was saying really good things, where he was saying a lot of positive stuff, advocating for trans rights, LGBTQ rights, and I can support those things. There was there were times where Ethan would go off the handle and say a bunch of shit that nobody wanted to hear him say, just because he's Ethan and he's dumb and he fucks things up. He goes goblin mode. But it was always something where Ethan, at least the way he presented himself, was able to understand that he messed up, understand that he caused pain, caused problems, caused kind of everything that was coming to him. He caused it, and he understood that, and he was sorry, and he wanted to get better. At least that's how he presented it. That's no longer that way. He can't take criticism. He can't think critically and adjust, how he presents himself. But we'll get into all that. But yeah, I mean, ashamed is a powerful word. I'm not ashamed that I did support him. I'm ashamed where everything went, where Ethan's, I'm ashamed of where he's at now. Yeah.
To do better than this.
In this video, I just want to explain why I stopped watching H3 over the past few months. What made me go from a pretty big fan of the show to, I guess, what Ethan would call a fallen fan.
Now, Ethan uses this term a lot, and to some extent it's true. Yeah, there's a lot of fallen fans that, stopped watching H3 because, he supported Hillary Clinton. There's a lot of fallen fans that stopped watching H3 because he exposed Joey Salads' MAGA video where he faked everything and he was calling Joey Salads a racist. There's a lot of fallen fans that probably stopped watching H3 because he had different opinions than them. He was pro-LGBTQ and he was, helping to kind of advance a progressive, agenda that progresses America rather than moving it backwards. And they just didn't agree with that. They didn't like that. Ethan probably would call me a fallen fan at this point. He's branded it to anyone that basically speaks up against the echo chamber that the H3 podcast is in. Anyone that would dare dissent or have any kind of criticism against him. I don't know. It's Ethan's term. If he wants to make it apply to Ethan's basement and myself, then that's what it is, I guess. It's kind of hollowing out the term, though. The way it used to mean something, like a fallen fan was someone who just couldn't, basically couldn't fathom that Ethan had a different opinion than them. And I want to be clear, like, that's not what's going on here. It's not like, oh, Ethan is, he's supportive of Israel or he's against Hamas, so that's why, no. It's not really about that. Like, I agreed with a lot of Ethan's takes, but there were tons of Ethan's takes that I never could agree with, that I thought he was just way out of left field or just like completely out of pocket. But it wasn't something where he had to go and villainize everyone that didn't think the same way he thought, and he had to go and pursue, legal action or cancellation of anyone that didn't agree with him. So it never became a problem. Like, it wasn't, oh, well, we have this difference of opinion and now I hate Ethan. It was just this, oh, Ethan's wrong there. I guess you can think that, but it is what it is. Probably a fallen fan would say the same thing. He was wrong when he wanted to say that, Shane Dawson came on his cat, and that's why I fucking stopped watching. You know what I mean? Whatever it is. But, it is what it is. If Ethan wants to call us fallen fans, then fine. I think more likely he would probably call us Hassan fans at this point. He tries to think that his whole community is just or anyone that speaks out against him in his community is just a Hassan fan. I mean, to be very clear, I never watched Hassan Piker. I never knew who Hassan Piker was until he appeared on the H3 podcast. And even when he appeared on the H3 podcast the first time, and they linked up and they did a Twitch live stream where they debated XQC and Trainwrecks TV, even then, it didn't make me like seek out or like go check into Hassan's stuff more. I personally, I'm a political like nerd. Like I'm very invested, and I've AP government and like all those kinds of things. Like I'm very interested in the history of and the current unfoldings, current events of politics. So even myself, like, just off of the first few times introduced to Hassan, I didn't like instantly grab hold and latch on to that. I wasn't a Hassan fan. I'm an Ethan fan. I'm an H3. I was an H3 fan. And I had been watching, since 2014 at least. I remember when Ethan released his video supporting Hillary Clinton. I remember all these different moments in the fandom that people couldn't agree with Ethan, or that they, got triggered and left. That's not what's happening here. Like, I'm not triggered at Ethan. I'm not angry at Ethan. I'm not, upset. Ashamed kind of hits it. Like, I'm kind of ashamed of Ethan. Like, damn. What the fuck? But we're only 37 seconds in here. I already seen this video, so it's a pre-watch Piker situation over here. But like I was saying, yeah, that's what I was trying to say is, I was never a big fan of Hassan until Leftovers started. I had forgotten Hassan existed. When he revealed his co-host and like it was a big, like a whole surprise, I was surprised as fuck. I was like, who is this guy? Like, I don't even know. And honestly, I kept watching Leftovers. I watched every H3 podcast that's ever happened or ever existed. And I've watched every moment of it. Like, the way I watch YouTube videos, I am a finisher of videos. Like, I will finish the entire video right up until the last, 3 minutes where they're just asking you to like and subscribe. All that shit. I've watched lots of YouTube. That's my main form of content consumption. Ever since I first ran into GMM, before even Chia Lincoln, I was watching GMM, Rhett and Link videos. I believe the first one I ever saw was trending probably the day they released the Taco Bell drive-thru video. And since then, I've seen every Rhett and Link video that's ever been released. I've finished stuff. So to say that I wasn't really a fan of Ethan ever, to say oh, you moved away from this community, so you were never really a fan. I was the deepest you can be as a fan. I'm wearing Teddy Fresh right now as I'm talking shit. I'm wearing Teddy Fresh. My whole outfit is Teddy Fresh. If you guys want to see more of the Teddy Fresh that I've got, go check out the video that I made when H3 copyright striked my channel and took away all the monetization. Go and watch, I think I'd show my whole collection in that one. Go and watch the They Not Like Us with the H3 as part of the They video I made. I'm not anti-Ethan. I never was hate watching. I never was someone in the community who didn't want to support Ethan until he became unsupportable.
I've always known Ethan had his shortcomings, and I could usually look past them and still enjoy the show. But lately, it's been way too...
He has a lot of shortcomings. But, like he was saying, I used to be able to enjoy the show. I used to think Ethan was dumb. You know what I mean? And he is. He's very dumb. That's the reason I was able to enjoy the show, is because, oh, this fucking guy, he's stupid. He's dumb, but, you know, he has some funny takes once in a while. He thinks of stuff in a different way. He thinks of something I never would have thought of. Not because he's smart, maybe because he's dumb. He thinks of something else. But most of the time that he's dumb, it's not that big a deal. Like, he doesn't know, you know, some hip hop artist, and that would be upsetting to me. Or he doesn't know about, you know, he just doesn't know things. Like, I don't know. It wouldn't be always so critical, though. Like, to go and have this huge political opinion and not know even what you're talking about. Like, we'll get into that stuff later. I mean, I think it's pretty, I don't even know if it's covered in this video. I was planning on doing another video when this one came out, so I was planning some other things. But in any event, like, to go and defend Yalev Galant and not know who the fuck he is, just to be like, yeah, this he's a good guy. We don't know who he is. We don't know much about him. We don't know much about the politics. We're not really paying attention, but he's a good guy. Because I heard once that he wanted to end the war. Just, if you don't know what you're talking about, maybe just don't talk about it. Maybe don't say it with such stupid fucking confidence that people believe you. Right? Like, maybe just don't have that dumb fucking confident attitude when you're talking about something you know nothing about.
Much. The hypocrisy and double standards have just piled up. So I figured, why not make a video about this to highlight what's been bothering me and why, after all these years, I've decided to stop supporting Ethan.
Why are people mad at me? I want someone, please, to explain it. Explain why you're mad at me. Go ahead. I'm dying. Please. Tell me.
So this is, I think, right after he had said Aaron Bushnell was, quote, really good at dying, and that he burned like a champ. Tell me why you're mad at me. Some of the things people say that make Ethan mad, that trigger Ethan, that he'll go off and go crazy about, are much tamer than what he was saying. But he can't understand why someone would be mad at him. And these are his paying members. These are people who are paying to speak. Because that's the only way you're allowed to speak during an H3 show. And now at all, because after the H3 show is over, the comments are off. So unless you're in chat, unless you're paying money as a member, you don't get to be heard. Period. You could try and go to the subreddit, but they're going to ban you from there. It's an echo chamber now. And so unless you're, completely repeating exactly Ethan's talking points and saying Hassan bad, you're going to be kicked out of there. I was kicked out of there well before the Hassan beef even happened. I got kicked out for... just the mods are very sensitive there. I'm not sure exactly what's going on. I think I got kicked out for, when did I get banned? I think I got banned for uploading maybe the They Not Like Us video, or maybe it was the H3 Copyright Strikes Me video. And yeah, they just banned me for... Actually, I think it was before that. I think they banned me just for having visited the Snark or posting. Actually, I think that's what it was. I posted the They Not Like Us video in H3 Snark and in regular H3 Productions and like Frenemies 12 or some silly shit like that. Because that video specifically when I made this video. That video specifically was, like I have here, like a parody H3 haters video. I had already basically heard these comments that Ethan's going to defend here, where he's, talking about Aaron Bushnell. I had already heard that, and I kind of was done with... Oh, this is a different one. I was done with all of the H3, verse and stuff. I had been just kind of ignoring it in general. But there was... I basically was watching on Twitch. I was watching Love, and I was watching AB, and I still like the crew. Like, no hate to the crew. No hate to Ethan. Like, I don't hate Ethan. Like I said, like, the video is not why I hate Ethan. It's why I can't support Ethan anymore. It comes from a place of caring. It comes from a place of tiredness. Tired of caring for him. Yeah, I mean, his carer needs to get a fucking much tighter leash on him. I don't know what's going on. But no hate to any of them. You know what I mean? Like, I had already decided at that point, during the Aaron Bushnell stream, I got rid of my membership. Or I canceled it. I don't think I like ended it that day. Like, it ran its cycle out or whatever. But I did continue to... I saw this, right? I saw him apologize for it. Apologize. He didn't really apologize for it. But I saw him make excuses and get all triggered and say, if you're really that sensitive, you should leave. And I considered, I was like, yeah, you know what? Fuck it. I'm not that sensitive. It's not about being sensitive. It's about Ethan from the perspective that he has coming in and shitting on this man that felt like there was nothing he could do to help in the situation, that there was nothing he could possibly do to help the situation but martyr himself in order to bring more attention to it. Desperate, certainly, but desperate times call for desperate measures. And if you really wanted to bring it up and talk about it, maybe talk about all of the crimes Israel's doing, talk about the war crimes, talk about the genocide, and then bring it up in that context. But you don't need to be joking about the man burning like a champ as he's setting himself ablaze and standing with such fervor and such emphasis because he wants to make his point known. And you're going to make that the butt of your joke, the fact that he stood strong while burning alive. That's why people are mad at you, Ethan. Because it's a shitty fucking thing to do. And it's an even shittier fucking thing to do when you yourself are not supporting and not caring about the Palestinian plight.
Why? I'd love to know why. Go ahead. I'm dying. Please. Tell me why. I'd love to know why. If you are actually articulated why you're mad at me, it wouldn't make any sense. So I'm dying. Please write it. Not even disagreeing, frankly, just trying to have a conversation. So, in short, suck my f***ing dick.
Can't take criticism at all, dude.
Echo chamber.
So Ethan has been on a crusade against several creators, including his former co-host Hassan, and recently he's criticized Hassan specifically for not watching the videos or addressing the points Ethan raised against him.
Been talking a lot about my former co-host Hassan Piker and leveling some pretty serious criticism against him. I knew that
It eats Ethan up inside that when Hassan was watching this video yesterday, the Why I Can't Support Ethan video, that's the first time he saw this Ethan's what is this, Ethan Klein channel. I was gonna say Ethan's basement video, but he's here in the basement. Ty Lopez here in my garage. It's I mean, it's just kind of funny that he's going so hard for no real reason, in my opinion. I don't see like Hassan going at Ethan in a non-charitable, bad faith manner. That's the entirety of what Ethan's been doing. It's all been bad faith. It's all uncharitable attacks. He doesn't try to see Hassan's points at all. He doesn't think Hassan knows anything. Like, he thinks he knows better than someone who does political commentary for their job. Like, full-time, streams every day, talking about these issues. He thinks he knows better. I don't know if it was the debates, like Ethan progressively debating better debaters, that he then thought, like, he just thought, like, oh, I'm the best debater, like, I can fucking destroy Hassan in a debate. And then he got his ass clapped twice in a row. And that's why he started hating Hassan, and he's been resentful ever since that moment. He does seem that petty. Like, that's definitely an option on the table. You know, he is kind of a petty little petulant bitch. So that could be it. And I think that probably is it. Like, I probably just hit the nail on the head. There might be more to it, like Ethan's family and stuff. But yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty much it for the most part. He's on this revenge tour because he can't verbally, like, win in a actual, like, discussion of facts or a discussion of, like, ideas. So he's just slinging insults and hurling mud and trying to say that Hassan is anti-Semitic and that he has this anti-Semitic dog whistle community that he's, like, saying straight to, like, don't be anti-Semitic. But then he's, like, over here, he's, like, puppeting a little string puppet that's like, oh yeah, actually be anti-Semitic. Like, he's trying to secretly fucking mind judo everybody watching him into being a Nazi. I don't know what the fuck Ethan thinks.
Piker and leveling some pretty serious criticism against him. I knew that he wasn't going to take it well. And
serious is not the word.
Respond to any of the points made. In
It's
fact,
joking
Hassan,
criticism.
I'm sad to say,
It's a joke.
did not watch any of. He didn't watch a single point I made. Instead, he took to saying that I'm crazy.
But about a month ago, I recall Ethan having a meltdown over a video made about him from a smaller creator called North Star Radio. So let's see if Ethan watched it and how he responded to the points made in the video.
This dude, Comrade Casey, okay, he made a video about the end of Leftovers. I haven't watched the whole thing. It's long as fuck, and I generally don't like watching videos like this because it's usually depressing. Bring back the Ethan Klein channel. Bro,
Didn't watch a single
I mean,
comment.
all jokes aside, I mean, clearly not. Like, I feel so of two minds about all this stuff. Because, like, obviously, you know, from a practical standpoint, these people, their level of obsession and harassment is a detriment to our lives. But, like, that's when you see under the mask and you see the person and just, like...
Okay. I want to say a few things here. Like I said, love for the crew. Not even hate toward Ethan. I just can't support him anymore. But yeah, they all get a lot of hate, and it is a detriment to their life. And I think that's terrible. I'm not someone who runs around doing hateful shit or, like, taking clips out of context and trying to cause drama. If anything, I mean, you guys can look back at the videos I have on the channel. I mean, I got rid of most of everything that wasn't what you would consider, like, fair use, just because, I mean, well, H3 copyright striked me in the past. So, you know, essentially, you can look back and look at what I've posted and whatever I have deleted. It's been H3 talks about Hassan and the possibility of a new non-political, them working together in a non-political show. Maybe like a collab where they do cooking or like, you know what I mean? So I was bringing up those things. I was never the channel that was like, oh, big drama, everybody, drama, they hate each other, like, let's feed the fire. I was like, damn, I really hope these two creators I love and appreciate can sort this out, work out their differences. Obviously, that's not how everyone works. Obviously, there's a ton of people that are sending hate their way, or, I mean, this is, this is kind of wild shit. The Comrade Casey shit. Like, I can't defend him pretending to make like a fan account for love. Like, not pretending to be love, but not really. I mean, he's obviously, it's like a meme account, but to make like a fucking weird little meme account like that, that's like sharing sentiments that aren't loves and like doing, based love shit in his name is kind of fucking weird. Like, yeah, I think that's a bit much. Like, it's kind of fucking weird. That doesn't change the fact that, like, it doesn't make what Ethan's doing any less fucking weird by going through it all and, like, not addressing his points and completely sidestepping that to just, talk shit and disparage this guy who made this, video about him and Hassan. Yeah, it's Ethan's platform. Ethan can say whatever he wants. He can do whatever he wants. He can attack whoever he wants. That's fine. I mean, I don't really care. But what Ethan's Basement is pointing out here is the hypocrisy that lies within that. The fact that Ethan does what he wants and attacks whoever he wants and says whatever he wants, but if Hassan, responds to him by not watching his entire video and addressing all of his points, then, that's wrong. Like, Hassan has done something wrong. It's bad. It's, I don't know if Ethan just wants to dictate Hassan's platform. Like, he just wants to be the only thing Hassan covers. He just wants to be talked about nonstop. Like, I thought he didn't want Hassan and Hassan's community talking about him. I thought the whole point was leave him alone, right? Well, I don't know what the fuck he thought doing this was going to help him be left alone, but yeah, I mean, maybe that is how Ethan handles things. We saw that with Moses, you know what I mean? And it's not even really... The thing is it doesn't work in this case. Like, I don't know if Moses has still been texting his mom about Ethan or anything like that. But, if it worked in that case, great. Like, whatever. But it doesn't mean every time someone says something about you that, platforming that and giving it attention and, like, attacking them for an hour on your show is going to be helpful to you. It doesn't make any sense. And yeah, obviously there's a lot of hypocrisy. I mean, it's been a thing for a really long time, just like the fallen fan thing, like the H3 hypocrite. Like, yeah, I mean, it's well known Ethan's pretty much a hypocrite, like, all the time. He never judges himself on the same standard that he puts others through. And for a long time, he was kind of like, not the internet police. We got iDubbbz for Content Cop, but Ethan was the judge, jury, and executioner. I mean, content court. Like, he was the one taking others to task about what they said. But he would never want to be taken to task in the same way. You'll see here later in the video where he talks about, like, oh, me, I've always been open and willing to admit when I'm wrong. Well, then how come you can't admit when you're wrong here? You're wrong. Admit it.
When you see under the mask and you see the person and just, like, There's
Listen,
obviously a lot going on.
I'm out of
I know.
sympathy.
Yeah, I
Fuck
get it.
guy.
I don't.
Fuck this guy forever.
You don't
with
need
the
to
cactus sideways.
I got you.
As you can see, instead of watching the video, Ethan's first reaction is to go through the creator's Reddit account and show his audience some of his old comments. I hope you are starting to understand my point, but again, here's Ethan a few days ago calling out Hassan.
Now, instead of actually addressing a single point, he stops it before he gets there. I hope it's clear to everybody just how bad faith this is right now, and how desperately he's trying not to respond to any of the actual criticism that I've made.
But let's see, maybe Ethan will give this video one more chance. After all, he's the one that brought it up during the podcast.
Twitch streamer on the platform was blown.
Oh, hey guys, what's up? I'm North Star Commie Radio, and Ethan's a Zionist pig. It's like
Ethan hates me now.
It's like Charlie, but like not funny.
So yeah, 12 seconds in, and Ethan stops it to make a personal attack, and that's it. He won't show anything else from the video, and instead will go back to Reddit to comb through his comment history.
So anyway, this guy who made this video that's like super weird and biased towards Hassan and is like mega commie, tanky. So this guy looked into him.
So a video he hasn't watched is apparently super weird and biased towards Hassan. But of course, Ethan doesn't have to watch or show the video. It's way more effective to just tell his audience that this guy is a communist, so his points don't matter. This
Hasn't
is a
even watched
classic
it.
Tim Pool move, by the way. So let's go back to Ethan's recent video calling out Hassan.
You can see there's layers and layers and layers of character assassination, propaganda, logical fallacy.
Bro, you're literally doing character assassination right now. You are doing character You are the one assassinating characters out here. Anything Hassan is saying is in self-defense. I mean, what the fuck? If someone breaks in your house trying to kill you and you respond to that, that's not assassination. That's defense. Propaganda, I think, all right, one big thing that I think needs to be discussed that nobody's touching on. Nobody's touching on this at all, but I think it should be talked about. I don't think Ethan knows who he got into business with. I don't think he understands what Hassan does still to this day. And this might be him learning and trying to understand what it is. But Hassan is admittedly, openly, an agitational propagandist. Now, you might say he's more honest than anyone else because everyone is an agitational maybe not agitational. Everyone in the news media is a propagandist for somebody. They are doing propaganda. Hassan actually admits it, which you could argue makes him more of an honest propagandist. But he is an agitational propagandist. The point of him existing, he's there to agitate. To take like the way you think in this rigid manner and to fucking poke at it, mix it around and kind of mess with it a little bit and agitate you into thinking differently, into having a fresh idea, into looking at it with a new perspective. I think that the way to sum up this story is agitational propaganda agitates. Hassan does agitational propaganda. Ethan watches, gets agitated. Now, you could take that feeling and sit with it and think on it a little more and do some critical thinking and, see where he's coming from and maybe you will change your mind. Maybe you'll say, you know what? The U.S. has done a lot of things and caused a lot of problems all over the world, and maybe, some of the people that we put in those situations aren't acting how we would like to see them act. And you know, that's going to happen. That's kind of how it works. If you put someone in a situation they don't want to be in, they're probably not just going to do what you wanted them to do in that situation. They're probably going to struggle against it. I mean, this is weird because it's like Ethan gets some of these things. Like, he can acknowledge things and he'll say things like he said back in the day about Israel that they shouldn't have been doing the genocide they were doing. Like, he recognized it was genocide long before anyone was talking about October 7th or any of the things, any of the recent killings we've seen, any of the recent numbers that Israel's been racking up, the bodies. But what are you going to do with that? It seems like he'll know something one day, and then if he wakes up on the wrong side of the bed, he just completely doesn't fucking recognize it anymore or doesn't relate to it anymore. He's like, no, brush it off. It's on to the next thing. Now it's I'm upset because people are, being anti-Semitic or they're not approving of Israel enough, or they're too critical of Israel, or it just moves on to the next thing. Like, both things can't exist at once for Ethan. He only has object permanence for one of these problems in his mind. There can't be anti-Semitism and also, Israel's doing a genocide. Both things can't be happening at once. If there's anti-Semitism, well, then we need to forget about the other thing because that's more important. I'm Jewish. I need to be, paying attention to this rather than the Palestinians that are being genocided. Even having that, that point in your mind is like, all right, that's one thing. But then when you are faced with Palestinians, people who are upset that are on this side that are saying, I'm upset because there's anti-Islamic, tensions going on and people are treated, Islamophobia is on a rise. You can't also recognize that and say, okay, yeah. Yes, there's anti-Semitism and Islamophobia, and they're both problems. You can't hear someone out when they have their own issues that they're talking about, but you can talk about your issues and air your shit out all day, and nobody better say anything about that. Nobody better speak up because that would be fucked up. But when they are airing out their shit, you're going to insert yourself and make it about you and make it about your thing. Like, it's just bullshit. Like, it's just he's completely disconnected from like any critical thought at this point, which is terrible. And, like I said before, like, Ethan has a long track record of improving and doing better and like getting on with it, like moving along. You're saying, you know what, I fucked up. I'm going to own up for that. Let's move along. But he cannot do it in this one place. He just can't do it anymore. I don't know if it's, like I said, like if it's family or if there's something else going on. He needs a little bit more help than, like professional help or something. I'm not sure. I'm not sure where it's at. But yeah.
Character assassination, propaganda, logical fallacies.
Talk about logical fallacies,
not one
man.
response to any of the points that I've actually made. And
Ethan has no logic.
That he's trying to poison his audience against me.
Character assassination and not one response to the actual criticisms? I really wonder who would do that.
This fucking doughy white bitch is making content that is biased against me. And also, apparently, he hates Jewish people. Comrade Casey, you bitch-ass weirdo. You look like a weirdo. And I don't hate mustaches, but man, that's a weirdo mustache.
That I can back. That's a weirdo mustache. And that was actually a funny thing to say. If he wasn't fucking avoiding every point that Comrade Cassie over here made. Okay, if he wasn't doing the exact thing that he accuses Hassan of, that's a fucking decent point. This guy does have a fucking weird mustache, and that's kind of funny thing to say.
Look like a weirdo. And I don't hate mustaches, but man, that's a weirdo mustache. So this guy looked into him. This guy who runs North Star Radio, Comrade Casey, they found his Reddit account.
This
He's
guy
a big Hassan fan and clearly developed a deep
this guy from the Destiny subreddit looked into him.
Hatred for Ethan. They found his Reddit account. He's a big Hassan fan and clearly developed a deep hatred for Ethan and Hila since October 7th.
So he's made a video about Ethan that he hasn't watched because it's too long, but he took the time to look into him and read every comments this guy's...
And like I said, he said, oh, this guy's clearly developed a strong hatred for Ethan and Hila since the October 7th attacks. Maybe this guy, fucking North Star Radio, is hating Ethan. Like, maybe his video would be why I hate Ethan rather than can't support. And yeah, I mean, I'm not going to support the shit that he did. I mean, he posted some pretty unhinged shit. The video itself on North Star Radio, I don't think was bad. Some of the shit that he was doing on the alt accounts or whatever on his Reddit, and like some of that shit was kind of weird. And this guy might be a fucking hater, but he also might make some good points in his video that Ethan never finished, that Ethan never responded to any of the points from. He might know some stuff about Ethan. He's not just like a huge Hassan fan. He's also actually, I believe he was an Ethan fan first. So maybe he does have some kind of insights. I can't remember if I finished that video. I think I did. I can't remember what the thesis was. Like I said, I'm not here to fucking support Comrade Casey or like Based Love or any of that weird shit. I'm here to talk about why I can't support Ethan anymore. And it does bleed into this, but this isn't like the first time Ethan's been a hypocrite. This isn't the last time Ethan will be a hypocrite. It's pretty much in his nature to be hypocritical and to shift the blame around, you know what I mean? Pretty openly won't take responsibility for things
ever posted, and that's what Ethan will focus on to debunk the video. Now here's Ethan just a few days ago complaining that Hassan should watch the videos he made about him instead of relying on his chat to tell him what was said in these videos.
He didn't watch any of it. He's basing this based on, like, I guess, chat. And, it's like, what do you... Talk about it or don't, man. Don't do this shit.
Let's see if Ethan would...
So he did not watch your entire podcast on stream. He also didn't just go off of things the chat said and just go from there. He wasn't... So neither of those things is what happened, right? There were clips that chat sent, and he saw clips of you talking about him. It's not fully one way or the other on that. It's not like he completely ignored everything and didn't watch anything. He saw one of the Ethan's Basement videos, or part of it. He saw some of the initial stuff going on when you first called him out. He saw a decent chunk of that, responded to it. But at what point is he just, oh, you know what? This is the fucking Hasanabi broadcast where we just watch H3's entire podcast because he's attacking me all week. So that's what we're doing here. While there's a fucking genocide going on and an election coming up, we're going to be watching Ethan talk about me, talk shit about you, my community, and say you're a bunch of anti-Semitic fucking crazy people. Does that sound like something he should do? Well, where is Ethan? Where is Ethan watching Hassan's fucking stream? Where is that at? Anyone show me Ethan watching Hassan stream for more than fucking a Destiny clip?
Rely on other people to watch the videos for him because I have a big
Shit.
Let's see if Ethan would rely on other people to watch the videos for him because I have a big problem with this next clip.
He made a video. I haven't watched the whole thing. It's long as fuck. And I think everybody noticed as they were watching through it, even Hassan, I think, commented on it, that this video is a little fucking weird.
Yeah.
You were...
No. And Ethan's Basement's going to get to this in a minute. But he didn't think the video was weird. He thought that the fans were being weird. He thought that the fans were being parasocial and weird in his chat. That's not the same thing. He wasn't frustrated with the video and didn't want to watch the video anymore. He was frustrated with chat and he didn't want to finish watching the video with chat because they were going fucking nutty mode. And you know what? I mean, it is what it is. The chats are going to go nutty mode. If you're a creator, you're going to get hate, on whatever scale you're a creator on, right? So like Ethan's Basement made this video. He lost 2,000 subscribers. I'm sure he's got lots of hate comments. I'm sure he's got lots of people reaching out to him saying, oh, fuck you. I'm sure he's got a lot of people reaching out to him saying nice things too. When I made my video about H3 copyright striking me, I got a ton of fucking hate. I got a ton of hate on both sides. I got a ton of hate, people saying, oh, fuck Ethan, like just keep doing whatever you want to do with his content. Keep taking members' content. Don't listen to him. I got a bunch of hate from people who are like, oh, look, you fucked it up for everybody. Now nobody can do members' content. Oh, look, you fucked up, like your channel, blah, blah, blah. People telling me to fucking do something else with my time. Just, whatever. Everybody gets hate comments. I can't say personally I've gotten death threats, but at that level, I'm sure everybody's getting death threats too. I don't know how many are credible death threats, but it's part of the nature of of being a content creator, and it sucks. Like, it shouldn't be. Anyone that does that shit, like, fuck you. Like, don't make death threats and don't like try to fucking dox people. Don't try to swat people. All that shit is stupid. But at the same time, Ethan should, by this point in his career, be able to understand that there's a level of hate that comes with whatever you're doing as a creator, especially if you're talking about shit like Israel Gaza, especially if you're going to start, going through somebody's entire fucking subreddit and like their Reddit account and just like going through all their shit. Like, yeah, you're going to get some hate, dude. Like, it's a sensitive issue. Israel and Gaza's sensitive issue. It's sensitive. You're sensitive when other people are talking about it. Why don't you think other people are going to be sensitive to what you're saying? That's fucking one of the biggest hypocritical things possible. Just one of the most obvious ones. Whatever.
Don, I think, commented on it, that this video is a little fucking weird.
Yeah.
You mentioned you had watched it.
Yeah, I saw the whole thing. It is biased towards Hassan.
Even Hassan was getting like frustrated watching it, and he was confused, and he was like, "This is fucking weird."
Yeah, Hassan didn't like the video at all, from what I recall.
He was frustrated with chat.
And the more it went on, the more he kind of like disliked it.
I was so disappointed by the crew when I saw that.
I do want to point something out here. What the crew is doing is answering a question that their boss is asking them in a way that their boss wants to hear. That's what Ethan wanted to hear, was that Hassan didn't like the video, Hassan thought it was weird, and that, everybody agrees with you, Ethan, don't worry. Now, they shouldn't have done that. And it might be that they were also a little bit confused because Hassan was heated, and they might have only caught couple of minutes of the coverage. But it's still kind of fucked up that either one, they're in a workplace where they don't feel like they could tell their boss the truth because it'll hurt his fifis, or two, they are making broad assumptions over something they didn't catch a full glimpse of and just assuming that, this is what's happening because that's the most suitable thing. Whereas when Ethan is, not watching the video and getting, that's what I was talking about. Either way, he's basically, the crew is just doing what they think their boss wants them to do. They're not doing it out of bad faith, I don't think. They're more doing it out of necessity for keeping everything going smoothly, right? They don't want to drive a wedge between Ethan and Hassan and say, oh, yeah, Hassan actually really liked the video. Hassan thought he made a lot of good points. Hassan thinks that you are a hypocrite and that you are dumb. You know what I mean? They're not going to say that. You know what I mean? They're going to say what Ethan wants to hear. And I think that's part of the problem. But I don't blame the crew for that. I blame Ethan for that. Because he has such a hostile attitude and such a hostile way about him when it gets into a situation like this, that the crew knows they can't speak up in a way that Ethan isn't approving of.
I don't know if it's just bad.
It's like that.
I was so disappointed by the crew when I saw that. I don't know if it's just bad faith or if they also didn't really watch Hassan's reaction, but I will show you a clip of him talking about this video.
What is it? Oh, I gotta go. I gotta finish. I'll finish this tomorrow. I gotta do the podcast.
Now, the quote, Hassan was getting frustrated watching it, is correct, right? Technically, he was getting frustrated while he was watching the video. But he wasn't getting frustrated with North Star Radio's coverage of the fucking situation. He was getting upset and frustrated at his community for being so fucking parasocial and weird about the relationship dynamic between Ethan and himself. He wasn't upset that the video was made. He was upset at the reaction that people were having to it. If anything, he was upset that Ethan was getting shit on and he was trying to be a good friend. He was literally screaming at his chat that whole time that it, basically to be more charitable to Ethan. Ethan would not give him any level of charity.
Personal news wise, I ended the broadcast. We watched a YouTube video that was really good, and I highly recommend you guys check it out. It's by Comrade Casey in the chat, also known as, I believe, North Star Radio. Is that what it is? Is that what his YouTube name is? I forget.
Since we were talking about Hassan's chat, let's talk about it more because that's one of the main point of criticism Ethan has. He thinks his chat should challenge him more.
It makes me sad that people in his audience let him get away with this types of hand waving. And once again, if you're a Hassan fan, challenge him to do better than this. This is dishonest. And more than that, I'd like for him to just respond to one of the points I made, just directly.
The do better part of this statement is really important because
Hassan was watching this yesterday and, he said, he himself, Hassan, has never challenged anyone in Ethan's fan base or Ethan's community to speak out against him or to challenge him on points that, about Aaron Bushnell or about Israel Gaza or anything like that. He hasn't had his community go and brigade Ethan's community. So why did Ethan do that to him? Why would Ethan be like, you know what? You guys should go and challenge Hassan on these things. Go challenge him. Like, it's without the context, it's hard to even talk about like what he wanted them to challenge him on. I mean, I haven't really understood what Ethan's point is this whole time. When his point during the Israel-Gaza debate with Hassan was anti-Semitism exists, I think everybody got that. I think everybody was like, yeah, it does exist. It does exist. Both things are happening at once. There's anti-Semitism while the Israeli state is doing a genocide. Both things are happening. I don't know if Ethan has a new point, or other than that, like, now it's anti-Semitism exists in Hassan's community and he's like helping cultivate it. Is that the new point? I don't really understand what he really is trying to get across here. And maybe I'm rambling. I've gone for like a freaking hour now, which I didn't expect this 17-minute video to have an hour-long reaction. But I've just got a lot of shit to say, I guess. A lot of this has been on my mind for a minute. But yeah, I don't understand exactly what Ethan thinks Hassan needs to do better on. I mean, I know what he says he thinks Hassan needs to do better on, but he's clearly not paying any attention. Like, Hassan does call out his chat. Hassan has banned Ethan's name and H3 in the chat for like a while now. There hasn't been, I mean, I don't know. Because like I said, on that level, you're always getting hate. So I'm sure there's people from Hassan's community or people from Destiny's community that say that they're from Hassan's community that are sending hate Ethan's way. But Hassan is not sending people to go hate on Ethan. Hassan isn't sending anyone and saying go brigade his stream, go challenge him on his points. Hassan's his friend. Hassan is as charitable as physically possible to Ethan. Hassan spent an hour and a half defending Ethan after he attacked Frogan, and then Ethan took the one fucking 10-second clip where he defended Frogan a little bit, where he just had a shred of, maybe Ethan could think about how this genocide is affecting someone else other than just how the war is affecting him and his family. That one moment got clipped, and that's all Ethan saw. Either that's all he saw, and I hope that's all he saw. I hope that, my best charitable idea of what could have happened is Ethan saw this is what's going on, and he said, okay, like he just saw a clip from Destiny, and he said, okay, that's what's going on. Hassan says I shouldn't attack Frogan because she's an Islamic or hijabi woman. And maybe that's all that happened. Or he disingenuously saw the context, saw him defend him for an hour and a half, and then saw that part and said, perfect, that's the thing I can clip. That's the thing I can attack Hassan on. I'm going to get a bunch of views. We're going to turn this thing around and fucking maybe we'll be the H 2.9 podcast if we can actually get a fucking 100,000 people to subscribe back to this shit. Obviously, it went the other way. But I don't even understand like the thought process Ethan was having.
To one of the points I made, just directly.
The do better part of this statement is
I hope he wasn't being disingenuous. I hope he just saw the clip.
Great example of Ethan being challenged by his own chat to do better.
Truly disgusting, disappointed in you and the crew. Do better! The crew. If you had a dog, y'all wouldn't have thought twice, but it was a cat and you don't care. Shut up, you fucking...
This was fucking gross. This was I was already basically out of the community at this point. I had checked out some videos of Love. I had tuned into a few of Love streams, a few of AB's streams, probably a few more of AB than Love, and I started kind of checking in again. I wasn't unsubscribed at the time. I had ended my membership. I wasn't paying Ethan anymore, but I wasn't unsubscribed from the YouTube channel. I didn't I fucking need to purge all this shit out of my feed. I just couldn't watch it anymore because, I didn't know what kind of fucked up shit he was going to say. And he didn't seem like he was doing well. But this was really fucked up. I was coming back through and I was looking through shit and I was clipping here and there. And yeah, Ethan, I don't know. He might have been right about that dude being a weirdo with the cat that he stole and tried to help. In his words, he tried to help it. And he might have been honest about the fact that if the girl who was the cat owner would have came on, he would have torn her to shreds as well. That's kind of the fucked up thing, is that whoever was willing to speak with Ethan and actually engage and call into the show, he was going to tear to shreds. He was going to rip them apart and try and fucking run them through with a broadsword. That was part of the problem with that situation, is that he didn't give a fuck what actually happened to the cat, because Ethan doesn't fucking like cats. He doesn't give a fuck about cats. He'd rather just have someone onto the show that's involved in this drama so he can tear them down and blame them for all of the things that happened. That was that entire situation. He's not invested. He doesn't give a fuck. He just wanted to cause some mayhem. And then when he gets called out by his own audience and he's being challenged, not because Hassan sent a bunch of people and said, oh, go fucking yell at Ethan about his attitude about cats. No, because his attitude is such a fucking shit attitude and such a shit take that his own community started to stand up against what he was saying. And then he freaked out and went fucking goblin mode on his own fans.
If you had a dog, y'all wouldn't have thought twice, but it was a cat and you don't care. Shut up, you fucking freak, weirdo, loser.
So following Ethan's logic, how does he react to his own audience when they try to hold him accountable? He often uses two techniques. Here's the first one. Also, here's a clip I found interesting from just a few days before they turned off comments on all their recent videos. It's just too good.
He also started turning off replies. Yeah.
Ooh, that's cringy.
Yeah.
Logan did?
Logan turned off replies.
Oh,
Yeah.
you lost.
Yep.
When you did that.
That's rough.
Yeah.
That's rough.
Okay, before we get back to the curb music here, that's fucking, yeah, obviously, if you're turning off comments, you've lost. Your own audience doesn't agree with you if you're going to the length of turning off the comments. Another thing that I think was very funny that they talked about in that video, not necessarily, I don't think it was very funny, but it's funny the way that he's very hypocritical in that later on, I can't remember if it was Frogan or it was some poster, some fucking 12 likes Twitter post that Ethan saw that said, these are the people that should kill themselves club or some shit like that. And he was in there with some other folks. And Ethan said, oh my gosh, when has it become normal? When has this been normalized to say that someone should kill themselves? Well, when he was in this fucking video right here, literally like 2 days before, he said, when has it been normalized to say that someone should kill themselves? They joked about KSI killing himself. They said KSI should kill himself. They said KSI, more like KYS, right? They are so fucking hypocritical. They couldn't even see they couldn't even think back. They're so lacking in critical thinking. Ethan couldn't even think back to 2 days ago when he was saying, wow, this shit is funny. Like, this guy should kill himself. And now he's crying about it. He said KSI should kill himself over a fucking song that KSI made that was absolutely dog shit. But he's never put out a good song. KSI's never had a good song. I don't know why anyone thought this song was much worse than any of the other songs. KSI's whole fucking discography is dog shit. So what's the fucking problem that he now needs to kill himself? But over this like trivial thing, like a song that he put on YouTube. But Ethan is talking about like actual like political violence and like genocides where people are dying in a callous way, and someone says that he should kill himself, and he goes off the fucking wall. He's triggered now. He's upset. Whoa, when did this become normalized? When has it been normal on the internet for someone to say you should kill yourself? Oh, I don't know, fucking 2008, bro? Like, what are you talking about? It's been normal. It's been normal. It's fucking standard operating procedure. I'm not a big content creator, okay? I don't get online and play a fucking Xbox Live game and not like there's not like a week that goes by that someone doesn't tell me to fucking kill myself online. And I'm not a big content creator. Who gives a fuck, dude? Are you going to go do it now? Is KSI going to go do it now cuz you told him to do it? I mean, no. So what the fuck's the problem? Why are you freaking out about some stupid shit like that? It's just so hypocritical. He literally just told KSI to kill himself, renamed him to KYS, and then freaked out and got triggered and started crying, got in his feelings, that someone else would tell him to kill himself. Fucking 12 Instagram posts later.
Oh, you know you lost.
Yep.
When you did that.
That's rough.
Yeah.
That's rough.
Curbed
But
himself.
apparently another problem Ethan has with Hassan is how he sometimes loses it and yells at his chat.
I fucking despise all of you, dude.
And you know, is it really cute the way that he like says crazy shit to his chat? I don't.
It's not cute when he does it, and it's not cute when you do it, Ethan. It's pretty heinous. Both ways. I think right there, and I could be wrong about this, I tried to look for this moment.
Is it really cute the way that he like
the moment that we just saw, and I'm not even sure, but I think he was screaming about chat. He was screaming at chat because, and I'm pretty sure they're reacting to this video because it was Hassan saying like, guys, leave me alone. I'm not trying to talk about the fucking drama. I don't care about Ethan. I despise all of you for fucking making me talk about this. Because it was a stream where he was trying to, you know, do his regular news when everyone was just coming in with drama this, drama that. Ethan's talking about you this. Like, who cares? It's not relevant to what's going on in the world. The fucking show is over. Like, they haven't worked together in a year at this point. Like, who fucking cares that Ethan's pissed off or that Ethan's upset with Hassan? Like, it doesn't matter. Other than to Ethan.
says crazy shit to his chat? I don't think it's really that cute. I don't know why people let him get away with that.
Now let's see how Ethan responded to the pushback from his chat the day after he made jokes about Aaron Bushnell, who set himself on fire in front of the Israeli embassy. And I want to remind you, the people in the live chat are all paying members.
Well, unless I'm misunderstanding, tell me why. I'd love to know why.
What I saw
Because you made fun of him burning. Okay, dummy. I joke about all this shit every fucking day. And now all of a sudden you gotta get all bitched out? Like, give me a break, dude. You know, suck my fucking dick. Give me a fucking break. Look in the mirror, loser. You're the problem. You are the problem. You are. Fuck you.
You look in the mirror, Ethan.
So
why don't you look in the mirror?
Expressing such dumb.
In the situation of someone making fun of a man dying, you're the problem, not me. I'm going to tell you to look in the mirror because you're the problem. If I can't make fun of a man who just died this week, that's your problem.
Fucking thoughts in my chat. Go somewhere else. Why are you expressing such dumb fucking thoughts in my chat? Go somewhere else. Like, seriously, if you're that sensitive, so give me a fucking break. Who's the problem? Scum.
That was the first time, not the first time Ethan said to people in his community, why are you here? Go somewhere else. But that was the first time that I fit into that box. That was the first time Ethan was talking to me. I'm not sensitive about someone dying. Like, I don't give a fuck if we talk about killing yourself and KY, all that shit. It's the hypocrisy associated with it. And in this specific scenario, it's not like you're just making fun of some guy that died because he did something dumb, like he set off a firecracker in his pants and blew himself up. No, you're making fun of a guy who wanted to be taken seriously, so fucking deadly seriously, that he covered himself in gasoline and lit himself on fire in front of everybody. There wasn't a word or a series of words in sequence that he could have said to be taken seriously. So he went to the most extreme dramatic lengths that anyone could ever go, and only harmed himself, not anyone else. And you want to make fun of that guy and laugh at him and say, if you get hurt, if you get your feelings hurt that I'm shitting on this guy who burned alive, that's on you, buddy. I don't know why you'd be so sensitive.
So if you're that...
But then also, if you ever say anything, insensitive about my family or my people, I'm going to go fucking batshit crazy and go through your entire Reddit profile and do a whole 2-hour op-ed fucking video on you and try and destroy your life. Ethan's the fucking sensitive one, dude. It's like the MAGA people who fucking used to call everybody snowflakes and then get their fucking feelings hurt if you said Donald Trump doesn't shit gold. You know what I mean?
Sensitive. So give me a fucking break. Who's the problem? Scumbag. Scumbag. So you're a fake fucking fan. Fuck you. Get lost.
Fake fan. If you can't laugh at me shitting on this guy who just committed suicide, who just killed himself, you're a fake fan. Obviously, right? Because I'm the guy. I'm the fucking important one. I'm the fucking influencer, and you're not being influenced by me right now. Instead, you're saying some shit I don't agree with. That means you're fake. You're a fake fan. Just like if the news were to say something you don't agree with, that's fake news, right? Ethan has fucking basically turned into Trump at this point. He can't take criticism from anyone. He is surrounded by yes people that don't want to upset him. And, yeah, he's a fucking total hypocrite. He's just not nearly as harmful.
Sick of it.
But maybe it's just the chat that is overly sensitive, right? Ethan is known to make edgy jokes and to make fun of all different groups of people. We call it goblin mode, and that's why people love him.
Go somewhere else. Like, seriously, if you're that sensitive, then you need to go the fuck away and go to a community that is going to just tell you everything you want to hear all the time and never make you feel uncomfy. There's plenty of them out there. Go. It's really annoying that, like, people just,
It's not that I want a community that tells me I'm right or makes me feel good at all the time. You know what I mean? I have Rhett and Link to make me feel good all the time. I've got GMM, that's like a comfort show that I can go to. I go here to laugh, Ethan. Your show was funny. It used to be funny. You used to be funny. You were a funny guy. What the fuck happened? Why do you got to be like this? I don't need to be hug boxed, but apparently you do, Ethan. Apparently you do. I'm not upset because the show isn't somewhere where I can feel fucking safe and fucking echo chambered all the time. I don't need to go to some show where I can feel like I'm in an echo chamber. I just don't like the show that I already enjoy becoming a community where you're echo chambered in, and where, your opinions don't matter because, well, the host of the show is going to tell you how it is, and that's just how it is. There's no fucking repercussions or nothing you can say back. Basically, Ethan is, again, being hypocritical. He is asking for everyone who watches his show to hug box him. And he says, if you don't hug box me, or if you want to say things that I don't like, you can leave. You can go somewhere where they're only going to say things you like. Just because I said some stuff you don't like. You've got to go now. Fuck you, bro. You've got to go. Get the fuck out of the chair, dude. Dan would host the show way better than you. Dan is a much more entertaining individual. Dan is got a much better hairline, being completely bald. I don't know. I'm not even going to go into like sarcastic jokes here just because it wouldn't even, like, it's not even in the spirit of the thing anymore.
Stand by it. Like, just waiting for any reason to call me. And by the way, why? Because I made one stupid, insensitive joke. If you can't deal with it, then you...
Yeah, no, it's not been one stupid, insensitive joke, Ethan. You've made a series of stupid, insensitive jokes your entire fucking career. And usually, when you sobered up from saying the N-word 40 times in a row, you would be like, oh shit, I fucked up. That's my bad. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm stupid. I'll learn. But this time, you doubled down and said, no, y'all are fucking stupid for not enjoying my shitty joke about this man killing himself. Since when did it become normal to talk about someone killing themselves on the internet? You're making fun of people killing themselves on the internet. When's that been normalized, Ethan? Sorry to put my fucking Dr. Phil voice on today. But what the fuck, dude? He needs some psychiatric help.
One stupid, insensitive joke. If you can't deal with it, then, you're a fucking hypocrite. Because I make these jokes about all different topics, about all different sensitive things, about all different groups of people, every fucking show. And then when it lightly brushes on your shoulder, you freak the fuck out. And you bitch, and you cry, and you go, and you try to find...
A crying bitch. Bitching and crying, calling me a hypocrite. Okay.
Any reason to, you know what I mean, to get angry.
After hearing all that, I wonder how Ethan would react if he was the subject of a joke. Like he said, he makes jokes about all different groups of people. He's a free speech absolutist after all.
It's a panel hosted by Frogan and 4 of her friends, in which they have a tier list where they rate people where good is Arab and bottom is loves Sabra. Sabra is a very popular...
Okay. We're getting into this thing now. I'll be fully honest here. I mean, I could tack to the fucking, way left here and just say, yeah, I agree with everything. Ethan's just a fucking dumbass. I do think this was a bit... Like, on face value, when I saw it, I didn't watch it like at TwitchCon or anything. I watched it in this video first. This is the first time I saw this. And I was like, ew. And I had seen other shit from Frogan in the past, and I don't necessarily like Frogan. I don't agree with her messaging. I don't agree with all the things that she has to say. I agree with some of the things she has to say, but honestly, I haven't heard that much from her. I don't watch Frogan or anything like that, but I still was like, I mean, come on, Ethan, you're being a little bit sensitive here. Like, I also didn't know that there was, a panel. Like, I didn't know everybody on there. I just knew Frogan. And I thought, okay, Ethan, you're being a little sensitive here. Like, this is kind of just him picking on Frogan at this point. But at the same time, I was like, you know what? That tier list is, it's not the best. It's not the best. It's not in great taste. It's not. I think Hassan made a really good point about the tier list, that the fucking way you're supposed to take it, like the Habibi pass down to loves Sabra hummus, is like if a black person or someone from the black culture community, a set of streamers, a pod of streamers, whatever the fuck you want to call it, a podcast's worth of streamers, made a list where it says invited to the cookout at the top and puts raisins and potato salad at the bottom. Basically, like, yes, you're cool, you're accepted in our community, you're invited to our cookout, down to, nah, dog, you white as fuck, like, you don't even know, like, you putting raisins in potato salad. You like shitty food, a shitty dish, such as Sabra hummus. Now, I can make that make a little more sense to me. Like, I can get down with that. It still seems like a really fucking weird thing to do at TwitchCon. Like, this is what we got to do right now. We're just gonna bring out the fucking tier list and like tier list a bunch of other creators based on how much they can fit into the Arab community or how Arab coded they are. Okay, I mean, I guess. Why'd you have to put Ethan in there? I guess. I mean, maybe because, he's your enemy or whatever for Frogan. But then, like, if you're going to fucking talk about Ethan and you're going to put Ethan on your tier list, don't be like, fuck, this guy won't shut up about me. Like, you're fucking talking about him. So to me, I'm not here to fucking support Frogan. I'm not here to support Comrade Casey. I'm here because I can't support Ethan. And that's all we're talking about. But yeah, in retrospect, the way Hassan kind of frames it, it makes more sense to me. And I definitely wouldn't get mad at a black creator being like, oh yeah, Ethan Klein is white as fuck. He puts fucking raisins in his potato salad. I maybe just don't understand the Arab culture as much. So it seems a bit more like, what are they doing over there? Like, they're kind of ranking people, on their Arabness. But it's not as cut and dry as that either. It is a nuanced thing. Sabra does have another meaning. I don't think they were certainly not talking about that meaning. They certainly weren't talking about Jews that were born in Israel as loves Jews born in Israel. That was not the bottom of their tier list. I think it's not even Ethan's position that was the bottom of their tier list. It would be disingenuous to have that position, but he does kind of allude to it like it could be why they made like, you know what I mean? And that just felt kind of like when he tried to do that thing to Hassan. I can't remember what video it was, but right at the end, I think they were debating. I can't remember if it was Israel Gaza or if they were debating capitalism versus socialism, or it might have been the China Tibet one. Either way, right at the end, like, he tries to like gotcha moment Hassan and like bring up some old shit, and like it just is so disingenuous. It's like, here's a cheap shot I can take. And Ethan's never seen a cheap shot opportunity that he doesn't take. He just doesn't.
The hummus brand, I know in Israel, it's pretty much in everybody's refrigerator, and it's kosher.
That almost sounds racist to say, right? Right? Like, I don't know. It's kosher. So that's one reason why, if it's been properly kosherized and such, that's one reason it might be like in a lot of fridges in Israel. But to say, the Israelis, man, they're fucking crazy for this hummus, man. Every Israeli loves this hummus. This is the number one hummus of Israel. It's almost stereotyping. It's kind of fucked up. To just be like, everybody in Israel has this hummus. You don't think somebody in Israel likes maybe another kind of hummus? Whatever.
Sure. They're an American.
I don't really know.
It's pretty much in
I don't know.
everybody's refrigerator.
Maybe he's right.
And it's kosher.
Maybe he's
They're an
right.
American company, but they've been the subject of the pro-Palestine boycott. I mean, it's kind of just Arab good, Jew bad.
Ethan Klein.
I told you guys to clap.
And it's not like when they were making this tier list, they were struggling to come up with creators. And they just were like, you know what, fuck it, let's throw Ethan in there. He loves Sabra hummus. And he is kind of he does kind of love Sabra hummus, no? It seems like he's defending Sabra hummus. He says it's the number one hummus in Israel. So, he kind of does it seems like he loves Sabra hummus. So he's not beating those allegations, but I do think it's fucked up. He's literally the third creator. And they had to go through them in an order. I don't know if it was it started with this guy, then this girl chose a guy, and then her first person she wanted to talk about was Ethan, or I really don't fucking know. Like I said, I haven't seen this other than what Ethan's covered of it. But yeah, I don't know why he had to be included, even. If you didn't want him to talk about you anymore, for real, you probably wouldn't have included him. But whatever. I'm not here to talk about, Frogan or fucking anything like that.
It's a good reaction.
I told you guys to clap.
This is a good reaction.
That was a good one.
We're very proud of you, Denims, for bringing anti-Semitism right on stage, and you guys are killing it. And may I point out here, Chevron, Capcom, and Samsung.
So this is when I thought, damn, Ethan's about to make a good point right here. I thought Ethan was going to make a good point right here. But he doesn't. He goes in a fucking totally different direction. It's kind of crazy. So I thought he was going to be like, oh, you guys are boycotting Sabra because they're pro-Israel or because they're the number one Israeli hummus or whatever. It's part of the pro-Palestinian boycott. But Chevron, you got Capcom, you got Samsung. They're a bunch of shitty I don't know about Capcom. Samsung is terrible. And Chevron is fucking atrocious. So I thought he was going to go and say oh yeah, here you guys are sponsored by a bunch of companies that fucking hate Israel. Or not hate Israel. That fucking hate Palestine, that fucking support Israel. And he's saying yeah, Chevron, Chevron's fucking, supportive of Israel, but you're sponsored by them. I thought he was going to make that point and just be like, the fuck? But instead he just goes after their sponsors.
Song. Do you know that there is an Arab to Jew tier list happening in front of your sponsor?
This tier list isn't about being Jewish at all. Not only is one of the panelists Jewish, but in the Love Sabra category, people...
Yeah, Ethan calling this guy a token is just really fucked up. No. Just because he doesn't fit inside of the typical, I I don't even know how to I'm not trying to get all fucking in the weeds with this here, but yeah, maybe I just won't get into the weeds with this here. Calling people tokens is fucked up. I just don't know. It's fucked up that, well, here.
List happening in front of your sponsor.
This tier list isn't about being Jewish at all.
The other thing about it is, like, this tier list, or I'm assuming any event, any panel you're going to run at TwitchCon like this, has already been, like, kind of vetted through, like, looked at, and they see what you're going to do. You got to tell someone your idea. They got to approve of that idea. So, I mean, I can see where Ethan's saying, like, oh, that means Twitch is backing it. Twitch is approving this thing. But, like, couldn't you also look at that and say, wow, like, maybe I'm wrong about what's happening here. Maybe this isn't an Arab to Jew tier list. Maybe it's just like what it says it is. Like, it's just like kind of talking about how Arab coded people are, and even like one of their, people in their same circles, like Mike, Central Committee, got put down and loves Sabra just because he doesn't know much or doesn't like fucking like myself. Like, he is not that familiar with Arab culture, maybe. Like, maybe that's just what it is. Maybe it just is what it is, and Twitch might have had some concerns about it, and they might have been ironed out, and everybody said, oh, okay. And it made sense. I don't really know where I'm going with that, but it's just kind of like, man, I don't know that it is as racist as Ethan thinks it is, and I don't know that it's completely, it would be fucked up to say if it's completely kosher. But that's the word that came to mind. But I don't know. I mean, it's probably maybe somewhere in the middle. Like, it is like, I think it's weird that they brought Ethan up on a tier list such as that. He's so clearly not gonna be Habibi sayer or whatever the fuck. Hopefully that's not an actual slur and I'm just saying it, but apparently it's not. They know where they're going to put him before they pull out the fucking Ethan Klein sticker. Someone had to laminate that, have the sticker made, ready to go. You know what I mean? It's just like, you guys didn't have to bring this up. So do I think that Frogan and them might stir the shit a little bit? Yeah. But do I think that it's, in proportion to act this way? Like, what Ethan did and how he reacted was in proportion? I don't know.
Not only is one of the panelists Jewish, but in the Love Sabra category, people from all different races and religions were included alongside Ethan. It's more about not knowing much about Arabic culture and therefore eating shitty hummus.
What is it? Ramadan what?
Lena.
Yeah, Ramadan Kareem or Ramadan Mubarak.
Bike?
Mubarak.
Oh, Mubarak. Mubarak.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you said it good.
What does it mean?
Mubarak Obama.
Happy Ramadan.
Mubarak Obama?
I want to address one last point in this video,
Fucking
and it's
Ethan.
about the H3 Snark subreddit. For more than
This is a man that knows he's dumb. Like, let's be real here. He knows he's fucking dumb. And just because you can outsmart a fucking Nexium cult member in a debate, Ethan, doesn't mean you're not too fucking stupid to have a nuanced and like critically thought through opinion on some of this shit. It's as simple as that. Like, you just aren't really considering the other side. It just, you know what I mean? It feels like no matter what the fucking shit right in front of you is, no matter what people are telling you, no matter what you're seeing with your own eyes, you have these certain truths in your head. And they'll never be changed. Your mind will never be changed. And you'll never grow to a new position. You're just stuck where you're at. And that's what it feels like.
I want to address one last point in this video, and it's about the H3 Snark subreddit. For more than a year now,
this is an excellent
been talking
point
about it and saying how toxic this place is, how they promote harassment, doxing, stalking, and why it should be banned.
And they do. And it should probably be banned. You know what I mean? After all of what they've done, from what I hear, they've put crew members and like Teddy Fresh employees that aren't public and like all these other people's information out, addresses, phone numbers, shit like that. That's fucking totally fucked up. Nobody should be doxing anybody like that. And Hassan doesn't fucking tell people to go to that. He specifically tells people not to go to that subreddit, and he tells people anyone that's on that subreddit is probably having some fucking mental health issues. And I agree. I only went there ever to drop links to some of my videos that I thought the snarkers should see. Stuff that I thought the snarkers actually could get through to a snarker. Stuff, I mean, like when I made that They Not Like Us video, it was basically a parody of snarkers. Like that one fucking dude that made like a 2-hour and 10-minute video taking down Ethan. It was a parody of that video. I posted it in the Snark to waste their fucking time. Because I wasn't really on Ethan's side anymore. I didn't like Ethan. But I didn't like the snarkers either. And I thought, after I'd watched some of like Love's show, AB's show, and I'd come back to the podcast a little bit, he stopped talking about some of the shit that was alienating everybody. And now they were getting attacked. I felt like, all right, fuck it. You know what I mean? We'll make a video that the snarkers think is going to be this huge takedown piece, and it just wastes their fucking time for 2 hours, where I just go off and talk about every single time that cats were ever mentioned on the H3 show or the H3 channels, because I was already working on a fucking cat compilation video when all the cat shit happened. When the cat shit hit the fan, I was already working on something like that. So then I said, all right, you know what? I'm going to take this kind of feelings that I have towards Ethan. I'm going to make it a joke. I'm going to fucking parodize these people who are so unhinged and psychotic over here. And I'm going to make a couple of points that I think, actually matter, actually are worth making, while I, make this video that should be funny if you're a real H3 fan, and it should be kind of enticing at first, but then you will find out slowly as you're watching it that the video is making fun of you if you're a snarker. I got shit on by both sides yet again. That everybody hated that. Everybody hated that because everybody coming from H3 thought this guy's fucking turning on H3. This fan channel, he's a fallen fan channel, all blah, blah, blah. And then over here, everybody was saying, oh, this is a fucking waste of time. Fucking, you could, stick by him through the racism and all of the other fucking problems. Oh, Jesus, I don't even remember what all the comments were. You stuck by him through this, and this, and then, oh, you draw the line to animal abuse. It's like, okay, man. Yeah. You got the point. You know what I mean? No, but I don't think anybody fucking got the point of that video. But it is what it is. It doesn't matter.
How they promote harassment, doxing, stalking,
this is the important point.
And why it should be banned.
Because I believe these snark subreddits on Reddit should be banned. It's literally...
First of all, you didn't think that when you were making all your money in in the fucking Colleen Ballinger snark. When you were snarking about Colleen Ballinger, you were supporting the snark. You were fucking hype about that snark page. You were pulling all your little bits of information that you could find off of that snark page and thanking the snarkers for fucking doing it. So you don't think there's anything valuable in any snark page? You fucking hypocrite. You don't think that snark pages have a good purpose, like taking down Colleen Ballinger, who had been, saying and potentially setting up, weird things with kids where they're like sending her videos and she's sending them panties and shit. You don't think there's any value to any snark subreddit? You don't think that shit was never going to be uncovered if there wasn't a Colleen Ballinger snark? You don't think so? You can't support snarks anymore, okay?
Be banned.
Because I believe these snark subreddits on Reddit should be banned. It's literally fostering the most psychopathic. It encourages harassment, doxing, stalking. It's not as bad as jailbait, but it's like giving like, I have a feeling it's going to be banned, and then everyone will be like, that was insane. Why the fuck was that allowed on the website for so long? These people are literally fucking, it's cult behavior. I don't think they're allowed to like straight up brigade, so they're doing like a very loud dog whistle, being like, hey, let's put a compilation of Ethan. The whole snark phenomenon is so pathetic that Reddit allows this shit to continue, because it feels like every snark subreddit leans into like straight up psychopathy in terms of like the harassment and the intention to try to ruin somebody's life.
And one last time, let's go back to Ethan's reaction of the North Star radio video and how he uses his own subreddit when he faces criticism, even from a way smaller creator.
First of all, shout out to whoever did the ops on this.
Encouraging harassment, doxing, and stalking. Now, the Comrade Casey guy saying that he got doxed by Ethan, he didn't fucking drop your address, bro. Like, maybe the fans, because when he does something like this, when Ethan has a fucking 2-hour show about a guy who has, what do you have, like 37 some odd thousand subscribers. When he does a show like this, like a fucking huge wave of haters appear. A wave of hate. People who have been with Ethan since the Keemstar days that want to attack his enemies will go and do that. So maybe they doxed him, and I don't know about that. But just fucking releasing your Twitter account that's public, your fucking YouTube channel that's public, and like whatever fucking little side, what are they called? Like sock accounts you have. That's not really doxing. I'll say at some point it might become harassment. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not here to fucking attack Comrade Casey or defend Comrade Casey. But the point that Ethan's Basement is getting to here is that Ethan's fucking show is snark. It might as well be called H3 Snarkcast. Like, it's a fucking snark show. Ethan built his career off of snarking on people. Ethan built his channels, both channels, off of snarking. Like, he's a professional snarker. That's all he does. He's a professional fucking hater. He just sits around and makes snarky comments about people. That's his whole fucking show.
Lovely Callisto. Thank you. I made an Imager album of his H3 Snark posts in chronological order and sprinkled in a few of his cringy...
Lovely Callisto, we know, is not doing this for Ethan. So Ethan thanking him is just, a little tiny bite-sized bonus. He's doing this for Destiny. He's doing this not for his own destiny, but for the creator Destiny. He's doing it to drive a wedge between Ethan and Hassan.
I made an Imager album of
For
his
Destiny.
H3 Snark posts in chronological order and sprinkled in a few of his cringy main subreddit posts too, along with it. So here's this fucking guy. Let's look at some of his greatest hits. He's also making fan covers and asking Ethan to bring back his personal channel. Grimace shaking Fortnite folk cover.
How dare you, dude?
Well, guess what, bitch? I know who the fuck you are, and I'm gonna have a conversation about it. Let me take a look at this guy's channel.
Shouting out his fans for screenshotting every comment and collecting every information on this guy and showing everything live. How is this different from what Ethan says the Snark sub is doing? I mean, it might be even worse because of the power of a channel as big as...
Now, the power factor of like the size of Ethan's channel is really important here. I don't know if it's worse in the respect that the Snarkers have done a lot of fucking totally fucked up shit. If it's, you know, all like leaking people's addresses and names of non-public employees and all that shit, you know, if you want to snark H3, snark on fucking H3, on Ethan, maybe on Hila, although some of that shit's pretty unhinged. But you don't have to fucking go after the employees. You don't have to go after, especially Teddy Fresh employees that like don't even have an internet presence, like a public one anyway. That's kind of fucked up. I won't say what Ethan is doing is worse than the Snark subreddit inherently, but it's certainly no different. It's not any different. It's the same thing. Maybe not to the same extent of releasing their addresses and shit, but Ethan's harassing people. Ethan's entire show is built on, you know, harassing people that he disagrees with. Harassing people that he thinks are cringe. Harassing people that he thinks are dumb or that he thinks are, you know, overrated, like Jake Paul or like, you know, fucking Logan Paul or the fucking, what are those, the Biscuit Boys, fucking, it's Ethan Bradbury.
It's Ethan's.
Here's a post. I don't know. Was this the same investigator? By the way, I didn't even mention this guy.
Investigator.
And he's like deleting his shit.
Yep, yeah. If it's H3 Snark, that's a snarker. If it's an H3 podcast post, that's an investigator that fucking figured all that out.
Investigator. By the way, I didn't even mention this guy, and he's like deleting his shit. And you should be scared, you fucking scumbag.
Yes, he should be scared.
By the way, that guy, the guy who's the Destiny subreddit frequenter, he also frequents the Snark subreddit. Yeah, that's where he found some of the shit. So, what are you going to do? He's investigating the subreddit. I'm sorry, he was an investigator of the Snark subreddit.
Because Ethan knows...
Should be scared, you fucking scumbag.
Should be
Yes,
scared,
he should be
you
scared,
fucking
because
scumbag.
Ethan knows by doing that, he's sending his audience to harass this guy. Him and his crew
course.
know what their audience is capable of, even if Ethan plays dumb sometimes.
Well, I hope people don't hold us to the standard of what our community does.
Right.
What does our community do? I mean, you say that, but what do they do? Our community is fantastic. It's all love.
Yeah, no, that's true. Our
Name
community's
one
great.
thing.
Bullshit.
Caused us any trouble by... I don't even want to go there.
Well, just tell me and I can button it. Even if they did something silly, because I don't know what you're talking about, but I'm sure it was silly and harmless.
Right.
Yeah, it's definitely silly and harmless. That's what I'm referring to.
But it's not sending like fucking hate and death wishes to supposed friends.
Okay. So as long as they're not supposed friends, right? Yeah. If we send hate and death wishes to Comrade Casey, that's fine. He's not our friend. If we send hate and death wishes to Frogan, that's fine. She's not our friend. Well, now that you're asking us to challenge him, if we send hate and death wishes to Hassan, that's fine because he's no longer our friend. That was just supposed. You get the idea? H3 and Hassan, I mean, Hassan never sent hate and death threats. Hassan was never like, hey, you guys should go fucking harass Ethan. You guys should go challenge Ethan. You guys should go call his wife a fucking, a Nazi or an Israeli soldier or whatever. You guys should go, do this or that. No. Nothing like that. And no evidence has been brought forward for that. Like, nothing. I've watched a decent amount of Hassan now. Like I said, I was never a really big Hassan fan. The reason I started watching Hassan's videos on Twitch after watching some of his videos on YouTube, well after Leftovers had been a thing for many months, was because I wanted to clip it. Because I wanted to start taking clips. A little bit later, obviously there's already like 157 fucking Hassan Clips Industrial Complex channels. A little bit after that, when Ethan started opening his content up to being clipped, I started doing that. I had only ever watched Hassan appear on Ethan's show, only watched him on that one Twitch stream where they went after Trainwrecks and Aiden XQC. Only watched then, the first 20 episodes of Leftovers or so, or whatever it would be. I think there were 66 in total, if you count the Twitch stream that Hassan and Ethan did at the end. So, I wasn't a fucking huge Hassan fan. And when Ethan opened his content up to be clipped, I started doing that. I made a whole new channel. I started clipping Ethan's stuff because I wasn't a big, huge Hassan fan. There was less competition as an Ethan Clips channel, but also that was the content I was watching every single time it would come out anyway. I was always watching the H3 podcast front to back. Literally from the first second of fucking dead air to the very end, when they're like, oh, we already lost everybody anyway, I don't think anyone's even watching anymore, type of jokes. I'd watch the whole thing. I was an Ethan fan. Was not a Hassan fan. At this point, yeah, maybe I am a Hassan fan, more so than I am an Ethan fan, because I'm no longer supporting Ethan. I'm no longer a fan. I haven't watched in a while. I came back because of all the drama to make a clip here or there where I thought I could take, what Ethan said and then actually match some of the things Hassan has said in response. But, every time I tune back into the H3 podcast, I don't miss it. I miss seeing Dan. I miss seeing Olivia. I see AB on his channel. I see Love on his channel. Nobody ever sees Ian anymore. But out of everybody on this entire show, I don't miss Ethan. I really don't. And when I tune back in, it's fucking cringy. Dude, like, the show has gotten worse. And Ethan's only gotten more and more fucking self-absorbed and, like, specifically, like, just so focused in on this one fucking thing. Like, he's just so focused on tearing Hassan down for whatever reason. I don't know. It seems shallow when they do other segments now. Like, it doesn't even seem like anybody's having fun reviewing Twilight or any of that stupid shit. It's hard to watch. If I do try to watch it now, it's hard to watch.
Anyway.
Ethan is a snarker. In fact, he's the ultimate snarker, weaponizing his audience
Ethan
to send massive hate
invented
waves and
snarking.
his crew to find intel on his enemies.
If he didn't invent it, he certainly popularized it.
By yelling to send massive hate waves and his crew to find intel on his enemies. By yelling at his chat when he gets any pushback, turning off comments, paying mods to heavily restrict what can be posted on his own subreddit, he's not letting any other place to have a nuanced conversation about his show or to present any criticism. He's been trying to portray the people who participate in this sub as stalk.
Now, I don't know for sure, but I do think that is Ethan. You know, I think he blurred it all out because that's Ethan's Basement's Reddit, if I'm not wrong. And I didn't ask, like I said, I talked to him about using this video. I didn't ask him that. But I'm pretty sure that this is a message that Ethan's Basement got. That Ethan's Basement, of all the fucking fan channels, the biggest one, the one who supports Ethan the most, he got banned out of H3H3 Productions as well. Perm banned.
And any criticism. He's been trying to portray the people who participate in this sub as stalker lunatics, but in reality, most of them are former big fans who are now disappointed in Ethan and were banned when they tried to express any pushback over the past year.
Oh, Comrade Casey just messaged.
He wants to say that everybody that dislikes him is a Hassan fan. Everybody that disagrees is a Hassan fan. No, bro. We're your fans. We just can't be anymore. Not the way that you're acting.
Me and said I'd appreciate not being talked about on the show.
Shut up, bitch! Talk about these nuts, motherfucker. You appreciate me not talking about you?
I just
Suck
responded,
my dick,
bruh.
bitch.
He said I'd appreciate not being talked about on the show, and I responded, bruh.
I bet
and
you
then
would,
I blocked
motherfucker.
What a
Sucks
fucking
to be
bitch.
outed as a piece of shit, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Fuck you.
I mean, was that fucking cruel? Was that cute of Ethan to say? I don't think it's very cute. But after making a fucking hour-long documentary or whatever about Ethan and multiple videos, that was not the only video that North Star's done on H3. To be like, hey, I'd appreciate you not to talk about me no more. I mean, what did he think he was going to get response-wise from that? But I get it. He's probably getting a fucking wave of hate. He's probably getting all kinds of death threats and the same shit that you wouldn't want your crew to get.
Sucks to be outed as a piece of shit, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Fuck you. How's that feel, Casey? I'm talking to you right now. Comrade Casey, we're not comrades anymore.
With all that being said, I know I won't change anyone's mind with this video, but if you felt the same way I did, just know you're not alone. In the past few weeks, all the other H3 fan channels I was in contact with for years, people who were as big of fans as I was, have told me they've also unsubscribed.
You're not alone. Lots of people are feeling this way. Ethan, you know, whether he acknowledges it or not, he has run into the same situation he ran into when he was doing all of his anti-social justice warrior bullshit, where his community believes that he thinks this way. They believe that he thinks like them, that he thinks this way. At the time, when he was doing the anti-social justice shit, everybody thought that he was right-wing. I didn't think he was right-wing. I was a fan back then, too. I thought he was criticizing the left from the left. You can do that. But a lot of his fans were right-wingers that thought that they were aligned with Ethan. They prescribed? They ascribed their beliefs to Ethan. They thought he thinks the same way as me, and that was all it took. Then Ethan had to realize, oh shit, my audience is the people who are leaving these comments on my video. And I can't, in good conscience, associate myself with this audience. And he had to make there be a separation. He had to make it obvious to that audience, that part of the audience, that that is not how he thought, and that he was not part of them. Now, Ethan has become very progressive and had progressive people on his show and had a leftist political commentator that he co-hosted a political show with. And he's built a really big progressive political audience. And some of the people are just there because they've been watching Ethan for years and they like his personality and they want to be there. And they don't care what his politics are. And that's fine. But a huge chunk of his audience, and not Hassan crossover fans that just joined his audience, and not a bunch of, brigaders and shit like that, but a huge portion of his actual legitimate people that are legitimately part of his audience, people that watch H3, that are progressives, that ascribed their beliefs to Ethan, sometimes because he was saying them, sometimes because he was saying that's what I believe. But now, everyone thinks he's this way. Everyone thinks he's over here. And Ethan's again seeing that he's not aligned with his audience. He's maybe a little bit more over here than over there. But instead of kind of recognizing that and saying, okay, they're not going to agree with me, and acknowledging that and saying, okay, you guys don't agree with me, I think this way, you think that way, and making it clear that they think differently, he's now taken to insulting and attacking his own audience and calling them, not recognizing that they're his audience, not recognizing that just like when he and iDubbbz were cultivating and building their own audiences, and they had a bunch of white supremacists in those audiences, and a bunch of people who like to say the N-word for fun in those audiences, and a bunch of right-wingers in those audiences, recognizing that they cultivated those audiences and that they needed to separate themselves and grow and change and try and hope that the audience can grow and change with them, but also recognize that you might leave some people behind. Instead of recognizing that this is a problem of his own creation, that he's created this problem where everyone thinks he's over here, instead of recognizing that, he says, no, it's Hassan's fault. Hassan made all these people disagree with me. Hassan has radicalized my audience against me, or radicalized his audience and had them brigade me, which isn't happening at all. It's not what's going on. I'm in Hassan's community. I'm a Hassan fan now. Only because Ethan introduced him to me. And not just the first time he introduced him, just like the fucking 23rd time he introduced him, I finally was like, oh, you know what? Let me actually go on Twitch, make a Twitch account, and see what goes on. See what's up. Yeah, there's a lot of people in Ethan's audience that have been in Ethan's audience way before Hassan came along that can't agree with Ethan, and not because they're Hassan stans, not all of them anyway. They just can't agree with you, Ethan, because you're fucking wrong. Like, objectively wrong. And I don't mean like your opinion is wrong. I just mean you're objectively wrong for the way you're going about it. Like, even if I agreed, like I said, I can't even articulate the points that Ethan's trying to make. But even if somewhere in my head they made sense and I could agree with the points that Ethan was trying to make, I can't agree with the way he's conducting himself. I can't agree with the way he's going about making those points. And I just can't support Ethan Klein anymore. I didn't have to take 2 hours to say that. I guess it took me 2 hours, but that's pretty much it. I mean, that's the gist of it. I know a lot of you probably feel the same way. I've had commenters talking about it. I've had people reach out, but yeah. I don't even know what to say other than, yeah, it's hypocrisy. Like, H3 is the biggest snarker of all time. That's just facts. Maybe Keemstar. Maybe Keemstar's snark number 1. Maybe Keem was the original snarker and H3 just bit his shit. But I don't even know why you'd want to. Like, you saw what Keemstar did and what Drama Alert did. Why would you want to be the next Drama Alert, dude? That's essentially what the show's become at this point. It's like Drama Alert 2.0. The host isn't a fucking Nazi. But, yeah, I guess he's just another kind of extremist weirdo. I don't know. I can't watch it anymore. I can't support it. One of the things I was gonna do originally, one of the ideas I had that I was gonna talk to y'all about was, I was gonna rename this channel Ethan's Films. So like 3 J's and then Ethan's Films, like Sniper Wolf and Jack's Films. But Ethan's Films. And I was just going to sit here and react to Ethan's videos. And just when he's wrong, I would fucking explain it. And I would disagree with him when he has stupid takes. And I'd just, sit back and laugh when he's being funny, or agree with him when he makes a good point. I don't know if I have the energy to fucking do it anymore. I don't know if I can sit here and watch Ethan that much at this time, which sounds crazy because, like, I'm telling you, I've watched every fucking H3 podcast from front to the end with YouTube Premium, by the way. Just for those who say I never supported him, or I'm a fallen fan, I was never a real fan. I've bought a lot of this shit. A whole lot of it. I probably supported Ethan more than any other content creator that I've ever been interested in. I was a paid member of Ethan's before I joined the Mythical Society, and a paid paid member, of their Patreon and whatnot. Way before I knew GMM and Rhett and Link way before I knew Ethan, but his was the first show I ever paid a subscription fee for. His was the first that, I got YouTube Premium for GMM, but his show was much longer than an episode of GMM, and watch time wise, I pretty much gave most of that subscription every month to Ethan, or YouTube gave it to him because I watched mostly his videos. I've been a supporter. I've never bought Hassan merch. I subscribed to the Twitch with Prime for a little bit. I don't anymore because I've got Nitro, so I make my own stuff. I want the VODs to stay up, but I've never supported Hassan or Hassan's community like I've supported Ethan, and I'm just done, man. I'm not alone. There's tons of people in the same boat. I don't know, man. I hope he can get back to feeling better. Or maybe, the fucking, President Trump, man, he's coming in. He's going to have the war over before he even steps foot in office. Yeah, right. So maybe there is some kind of redemption arc for Ethan. Maybe there's some kind of reconciliation he can do with Hassan that makes them both feel better about the situation. Like I said, I was hoping for that the whole way through, and I still am. Maybe it's naive to hope for that. Maybe it's not likely to happen, but I don't know. I mean, it'd still be cooler than seeing them hate each other. But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Because of Ethan's hateful actions. That's it for this video. Take care and free Palestine.
That's it. Take care and free Palestine. I mean, fair enough. Yeah, I don't know. It is a very politically charged situation. And I don't agree with Ethan's politics. But I don't fully, back what Hassan in his politics either. But for me, it's not even really about the politics of this situation. It's about Ethan essentially turning his back on his friend and charging him with all of this wave of hate that Ethan brought on himself. Ethan is the cause of Ethan's problems. Hassan didn't send anyone to go bother Ethan and to create all these issues. Hassan's community isn't the full extent of, everyone that's hating on H3. The snark isn't full of Hassan's community. That's just not what's happening. I don't know. I hope there can be some kind of reconciliation. Now that the election's over, Hassan seems to be, ready to talk about this. And if they don't sit down in person with a bunch of clips already cut, ready to go, I don't know what's going to be achieved. I don't think that's going to happen. One. I don't think it'd be productive if it did happen. Unfortunately. But outside of it happening, I don't see any other way that they reconcile. I don't think Hassan makes a YouTube video addressing Ethan's points and Ethan finally recognizes that his points are being addressed and he can, either disagree or agree or whatever, or respond or whatever. But I don't see that being a way that anything gets solved. If anything, it's just going to devolve further into more name calling and more, just kind of bad faith argument against Hassan. Because that's what we're seeing now. And we don't see any signs that Ethan's willing to change, so that is what it is. Wow. If you made it all the way through this, you probably like listening to me talk. I've got a gaming channel where I talk sometimes, so go check that out. And if you fucking made it this far and you hate me, then go do something productive with your time. I don't know. If you want to see what I do with this channel next, go ahead and subscribe. You'll be as surprised as I am. Peace.